Welcome back to Just Call Me Viv in our second act romance/mindset series. Last time, we carefully built your profile, your digital first impression, and now you've put yourself out there. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Someone swipes right. They laugh at your prompts. You see that little notification and it's a match. It's really exciting and I'm so happy for you, friend. The flutter that you feel in your chest, it's real, isn't it? But then comes the question we all secretly are dreading. Now what? Today, I'm going to talk to you about that crucial bridge, how to go from a match to a meaningful meetup without letting the conversation fizzle before it even begins. So the awkward silence and the dreaded, hey, and we've all been there. You match with someone who seems promising. Your hope rises and then nothing. Silence. Or maybe even worse, the one word opener. Hey. And listen, no shade. Hey, but it doesn't exactly light a spark. In fact, an old OkCupid report showed that saying hey has an 84% chance of being ignored. That's almost a guarantee of a dead conversation, dead air. But here's the good news. You don't have to play into that pattern. You have the power to set the tone, to bring curiosity and energy right from the start. And when you do, the whole vibe is going to shift for you. So how do you open the door to this conversation while you're messaging this person? You start with a good opener. And a great opener shows three things: that you paid attention to their profile, you are personal, and you are curious. So here's something that I did. I look for detail in their profile. When I matched with Storm, I actually saw his profile and I liked something that he wrote about a pigeon. It was just a trivia fact. And I thought it was sweet and it was endearing. And I just had to get to know this person, right? So maybe you looked at their profile and you saw that they were at a concert. There was a picture that they were at a concert, or they were standing on a mountain trail, or they're quoting The Office. That's your entry point. Research even backs this up. OkCupid found that phrases like you mention or I notice actually work because they prove that you read their profile. So instead of tossing out a generic compliment, try, I noticed you're into hiking. What's the best trail you've done lately? Or you said that you love The Office. Who's your favorite character? And when someone asks about you, don't just give them bullet points. This is not an interview. Share a little story about yourself. If someone asks about your hobbies, instead of saying like, I like reading, you could say, I just finished a novel that made me cry on a plane and a stranger handed me tissues. That's vulnerable, it's human, and it opens the door for real connection. I've cried on a plane reading a novel. So again, right, a little opening of the door to get to know someone. What are some of the green flags that you look for in this conversation, and how to pace it is to pay attention to the rhythm of the chat? And a green flag can look like reciprocity. They ask you questions back. They show up consistently. They make the effort. What are some red flags? They're just as clear. Overly sexual messages way too soon. Vague or dodgy answers, or zero curiosity about your life. Trust those signals. And here's something fascinating. Hinge data shows that for men messaging women, the likelihood of getting a response drops by 25% if they don't get a reply within 6 hours. What's the bigger lesson in this? That momentum matters. When someone is genuinely interested, they show it in their consistency, and you should too. So how do we bridge this into the real life? Here's the thing. Dating apps aren't meant to create pen pals. You're not there to make a pen pal. They're meant to help us meet in real life, right? We're supposed to go from messaging to actually dating, right? That's the step after talking to someone or messaging them or texting them, is actually dating. So when the conversations drag on for weeks, it's easy to build up a fantasy that no one could ever live up to. You've only known this person in writing. So, what's a healthy timeline? If things are flowing and there's a spark, suggest a low pressure meetup within a week or two. Think coffee, a park, a public park, not a remote location, a park where there are lots of people where you walk. Short, simple, and easy. And don't be afraid to take the lead. One Hinge study found that men were almost 100% more likely to respond to assertive, invitational messages, ladies. Something like, I'm really enjoying this. Would you be open to grabbing a coffee next week? That clarity saves everyone time and it shows confidence. So, how do you build your confidence if you've ever felt stuck on what to say? Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Think of each conversation as practice, not pressure. Every chat teaches you something about what you want, what excites you, and what doesn't. The trick is to make the first step tiny. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to write the perfect paragraph. You just need one thoughtful question. That's it. Simple, intentional, it's doable. Read their profile. So here's a takeaway: being curious. You have to be curious in this process because curiosity creates connection and clarity builds trust. And kindness is always the right choice. Clear is kind. Notice a detail, ask a thoughtful question, share a little of yourself, and don't be afraid to take things offline when it feels right. In our next episode, we'll talk about staying safe and steady while dating, setting boundaries, protecting your energy, and keeping your heart intact. Until then, keep your compass close and remember, we're building ourselves, the me before we. If you like today's episode, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care.